Welcome. This is since it's a new first episode, this is a segment we like to feature every week called Geno's Picks. And, well, it is June. There's not much to pick. But there are a lot of problems to pick from because football players think they're better than everyone else. And a lot of them are getting arrested. So, Gene, from a drafting point of view, coming up in the next 2 weeks, people can't stop talking about it. From a drafting point of view, what do you think of certain players that have got in trouble with the law? And, well, teams in general, let's be honest. The Bengals, well, we'll get to that later. Gene, what are you looking at coming up next from the draft?
Okay, one, Pac-Man Jones. Okay, and I know that's a defensive player. And a lot of teams like prorate defenses differently in fantasy football. But I'm telling you right now, whether you want him as a return man or anything, he's not playing. Don't think you're going to be the brilliant guy with the picks, the last pick of your draft, like, oh, I'm going to take the Titans D or Pac-Man Jones. You're not impressing anyone. There's always that guy that does that. He's like, oh, give me Deion Sanders in case he comes out of retirement. Stop it. You're not that smart. You're gay. Wait for Pete Rose to get into the Hall of Fame. Pac-Man is a criminal with problems. He's not playing the rest of the year. And I think the over-under on him jail time, I think he's like racing Paris Hilton for the next fucking sentence.
Not bad. 23 days.
2, Tank Johnson.
Tank Johnson.
He's a man without a country right now. He was just released by the Bears, Dan. So the Bears have the greatest defense in football. Absolutely. And this is only going to help the Bears defense. So again, Devin Hester, Brian Urlacher, this is just a defense to draft. What happens to Tank Johnson? I don't know. Criminal, gun charges, prison time. Where do you think he should go, Dan? The Raiders, where he will continue to be the worst element on an awful, fumbling team. Take him for, as my father would say, shits and giggles. Because if you've got the worst team in your fantasy league, at least you can brag that your guy shot 4 people in a huddle or a Thursday night incident. Speaking of Thursday night incidents, that brings us to a little group of criminals we call the Bengals.
Now, you mentioned what you're saying your father used to say. I look at the Bengals, and I think some of your father used to say, the Bengals don't know whether to shit or go blind.
That's a very good assessment. They're so lost as to what to do, but I will tell you something. This is a team that, it's not like one bad apple is Pac-Man Jones or one is Tank Johnson. This is just a team of fucking criminals.
So poison applesauce is what you're saying.
It's poisoned applesauce, I believe was in the sequel to Snow White. But what I'm telling you is this. They're so used to it, it's commonplace, and it's actually not really frowned upon in Cincinnati. And none of these guys are. Chris Henry is gone 8 weeks. I'm guaranteeing you he'll be back by week 6. What does that tell you? That says draft friggin' Chad Johnson early.
Absolutely.
Bump him up a notch.
Because I really do like Chad Johnson.
I like him. He's a
quality guy, but he's a nice guy. He's a cocky, funny guy, and he can back everything up. Unlike T.O., that piece of shit motherfucker.
I agree. And Ocho Cinco, and what's the other guy? T.J. Hushmazeda. T.J. Take both those guys. Exactly. Take them both. Chris Henry will be back by week 6. He'll be a stud. Draft as many Bengals as you can, because although they're criminals, they know how to stay out of jail. This is the Geno lock. Do we have a big lock?
Well, I can find something.
Don't give me a big lock.
Geno, this is Geno's shoe-in of the season.
And if you don't think these guys are great, well, then you're an idiot, because if any of them wind up in jail, they're going to play like a bunch of gals. A bunch of gals.
We waited the whole time for that?
Yeah.
You are terrible.
Yeah. Are you going back to the
I'm going drinking.
Can I come?
Shoe-in of the season.